Welcome back to Newsworld here on NewzroomAfrika, channel 405. My name is Vic Nadi. Thank you for joining us. And we're joined in the studio by Billy Monama, who is a jazz artist, a composer, and a guitarist. Billy, let's talk about some of those festivals you have coming. Like I'm seeing the Festival of Lights,
yeah,
and Jazz on the Hill.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Jazz on the Hill is a series that take place at the Four Seasons Hotel. So, I mean, this year, like I've said before, that I want to make a meal out of this 23 years of guitar experience. So now they asked me to come and perform there. And for me, I'm like, okay, then I'm going to take them down memory lane when I started playing guitar. So the performance is going to be like in two segments. So I'm going to play the grassroots repertoire, the first half, and then the second half I'm going to play my compositions, my original music. Though I have another project that I did, a collaboration project called Brothers with Andy Ines.
Yeah.
However, the ticket is for $595.
Okay.
And people have they've shown a different reaction.
Okay, would you finish? I think I know where this is going, but what reaction?
Reactions like, oh, man, it's expensive.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? I don't like it. I feel like we always complain as South Africans about prices, but someone from overseas comes here, they don't mind dropping 1,500 rand. But here's Billy, who is also doing many beautiful things. He's, he's a jazz activist. He teaches people about South African guitar styles. He's young. He's got 23 years of experience. They complain for 500 rand. I don't understand. Why do you think that is?
Man, we have lost the consciousness as black people. We don't have consciousness anymore. I mean, let's not even go to the pricing. Where have you ever heard my music on radio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we get to 500, so now you see the unfair. I mean, the people to be not conscious. It started a long time ago.
Yeah. You know, and that 500 is not a lot, because you must now, from that 500, you have to pay for venue. It's your other performers that are in your band. It's a lot of things that 500 must cover.
Look. That 500 actually, it includes the performance. You can come and watch the show, and also it includes dinner.
Yeah. So was it disheartening when you heard that people were complaining about the price?
No, I understand. I mean, like, the economic climate right now is not conducive.
Billy, you're so nice.
No.
You're so nice, Billy.
Look, you know what's happening? This guy, he wrote me on my message. He said to me, man, I want to come to a show, but
it's 500.
Man.
Can I have a discount?
Can I have a discount? Yeah. And look, it is not on me to put that price. It was the festival. It was the client who decided to put that price. So they know which target market they are going for.
Billy, before we, I don't want them for us to run out of time before you have to go and then perform. I want to ask you something else. You have this album that you did in 2017. It's called Rebounds. It's a labor of love to your fans, and it's all about bouncing back from adversity. And you've also, I mean, you're sitting here with me and you're happy. I mean, you look like a star, and you have this amazing energy about you. But you've been through lots of adversity in your life as well. You've had some terrible tragedies that have happened to you.
Yes.
Talk us through that and how you've managed to bounce back from that. I mean, you lost your mom.
Yes.
While you were performing. How do you manage all of that? How do you recover from all of that?
It was not easy, man, but I mean, it was a great experience because I wrote a couple of music through that experience, because after I lost my mother in 2010, I had to travel to France, and there was no time to mourn. You know what I'm saying? So the funeral was on Friday, and then tomorrow, Saturday, I'm in a flight going to France.
How do you do that? How do you just pretend and it's difficult?
The client told me that, Billy, we paid everything, man, you cannot. At that time I was doing a gig at the State Theatre. After the funeral, I went to do a gig, my own show at the State Theatre. You know what I'm saying? So now...
and that's probably it goes back to what you said earlier, how to respect your audience and what you learn from those icons that you've been working with.
Man, I tried to pull it out of that gig. I'm like, no, you know what is it? I'm not going to do it. They say, bye-bye, how do we refund those people back? And then how do you... hey, man, it was...
Because you spent the money already.
I expect I'm going to refund them. Absolutely. I'm going to refund them. So I've had car accidents. I mean, like, if I can tell you how many car accidents. I've had 3 car accidents in my life, and all the cars being written off, you know, and all that. So I've experienced so many things. If I were to share with what I've experienced until the album was released, the album was meant to be released in 2013. You know, in 2010. From 2010 was postponed to 2013, and all the time the album was supposed to be released, there were so many obstacles happening. You know what I'm saying? That is why, and believe me that the album was supposed to be titled The Journey, and then somehow there was another artist who released the album called The Journey, and I'm like, so now that name is being taken, so I had to come up with a name that is not obvious, you know, that will speak in depth about you know,
you and your experiences.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, earlier you also you said that you don't want to sound like a politician, but you need what is it? You need a revolution.
Revolution.
And you don't want to sound like a politician, but it is interesting to know that you studied political sciences and then that move from political sciences to jazz music. What?
I love politics.
Yeah.
Every day.
So did you finish study it?
I didn't finish.
Yeah.
I failed. Intentionally, I failed my political studies. I failed my political studies intentionally.
Why intentionally?
Because I wanted to study music. And I mean, mind you, at that time, I was playing guitar already. So now, when I arrived there, I'm like, no, and then I'm trying to toy in the house. I'm doing like a small toy. I'm like, hey, listen, I want to study music. And my mother likes, hell no, it's not going to happen then. And I'm like, no, please, can I study music? I'm giving references. I'm talking about all this great music. I'm like, look at Abdullah, he makes, you know, I'm trying to point out that, you know, people are making living out of music. And when I went to university, I'm like receiving so many books. I'm like, I saw some students going to a lecture, you know, carrying guitars. And I'm like, no, I play this instrument. I did not even go to my political studies. I went in there, then I played guitars. Then from there, I failed my exam in June. I failed dismal nicely so that I can say, if I had to strike a deal with my mother, I'm like, look, if you allow me to study what I want, I will pass. Then that's how I quit political studies. It did not even last 2 years. It didn't even last a year.
I think you would have been a very interesting politician if we.
I still
would have
love
been a fun politician. Okay, finally, before we let you go and perform for us on our stage, I mean, you've got the grassroots project that you're doing. I mean, you know, you are preserving the musical legacy that South Africa has. But as young people, how do we do that?
Young people, they don't do that because it is something that it is not as sophisticated. They don't see it as, you know, happening, you know, like, because right now, the music, if you tune on the radio, there's music that is buzzing, you know.
It's not the music that you playing and singing.
I play that music. I record some artists, you know, I don't want to mention those artists. I record those artists, you know.
Is this for your upcoming album?
No. For my upcoming album, we'll talk about it. Yeah. But I wanted to finish about the grassroots, is that for me, I made this mandate that I want to see South Africa in 20 years' time, all the schools having this book that speaks in volume about South African music content, nothing. So we can have European classic, we can have European jazz, we can have all these things. But if there's a balance, then I'll be a happy man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Joining us in studio, Billy Monama, and now that you've gotten to know the man behind the music, I think it's time that we obviously get a taste of that in your festivals coming up. All right, so you're going to make your way to the stage for us, right?
Right.
All right, so thank you. Awesome.
Don't